Brudiclad Telchor Engineer versus Azusa, Lost but Seeking. Definitely want a turn 1 Sol Ring against Azusa, because typically Azusa wants to ramp like crazy into Eldrazi. It is Eldrazi 98% of the time. A Utopia Sprawl on turn 1 for Azusa, so that is some ramp immediately. That makes this tap for, an additional mana of the chosen colour. We will go for the Cascade Bluffs into the Sol Ring, and then we'll get down a Volcanic Island with the Flooded Strand most likely next turn. I wanted to acknowledge a poll that I did, I think it was last week, maybe a week and a half ago at this point, although it's probably longer than that by the time you're seeing this, so maybe 2 weeks ago, in which I asked people if they want me to expand the commanders and read through them every single game, and 70% of people told me to put the commanders on the screen so that they can pause the video and read them if they want to. So I will be doing that from now on. Oh, Mishra's Workshop. That can get us into Brudiclad really quickly, can't it? We'll just have to fabricate this turn, I think. Or we could go for the Mog War Marshal. Let's go for the Fabricate onto a Wormcoil Hydra maybe, because then we can start making tokens of that. Yeah, let's go for Wormcoil Engine. 3 cards left in Azusa's hand, so hopefully they don't do anything too obnoxious there. But yeah, so I'm just going to put the commanders up on the screen from now on, so just be aware of that. If you don't know what commanders do and you're curious, I'm not going to go over them throughout the course of the game. You'll just have to pause the video when the big commander images come up on screen. What else did I want to go over? Oh yeah, the music at the end of videos. Most of you don't make it to the end of the videos, so this won't be relevant to you. But if anyone likes the video game music at the end of videos, they were a little bit of a social experiment for YouTube, or for me, seeing how YouTube would respond to those. We'll go over that in a minute. What are we on now? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we could go for Wormcoil Engine now and then Twin Flame and Brudiclad next turn. I don't mind that. And we'll just have to hope that our opponent doesn't have an answer to this. 2 cards left in Azusa's hand. And if we can use Twin Flame to make a copy of the Wormcoil Engine, then get down Brudiclad, we'll be able to make a Wormcoil Engine token that actually sticks around. The token gets exiled, unfortunately, so we won't get the Wormcoil Engine death trigger. Tireless Tracker with landfall will get some investigation tokens on the go, and they did have a Lignify. Seems like Azusa has a pretty good hand here. Now we do have Cackling Counterpart, and I think if we copy the Wormcoil Engine in this instance, we'll get Wormcoil Engine as opposed to a 0/4 Tree Folk. I think that's how that works. Yeah, well anyway, we'll try it with Twin Flame first. That's the worst card out of the bunch currently. So Brudiclad coming down. And then we'll go Twin Flame onto the Wormcoil Engine and hope not to get a Tree Folk token. And yeah, that does work the way I thought it did. So that is good. We will get a Mere token with the Brudiclad and turn that into a Wormcoil Engine. And we'll only keep one of those tokens. Oh, not going to swing in with that one. Yeah, one of the tokens will get exiled, but we'll keep the other one. And as long as we can keep this token in play, then we'll get one of those every turn. Knocking our opponent down to 18. We jump up to 40. And then that token gets exiled off of Twin Flame. But yeah, like I was saying, the video game music at the end, I just wanted to see if the YouTube algorithms would pick that up. And like 95% of the videos, yeah, our opponent doesn't have anything, that's really good. Yeah, most of the videos we managed to get away with, and I don't get called up on them, but there's some that are starting to get demonetized now, and I don't exactly make a fortune off of this channel anyway, considering the amount of time and effort that it takes. This channel consumes all my free time and pretty much all my weekends as well, so Getting a little bit of compensation from ad revenue is nice, and when videos start to get demonetized, I do have to do something about that. Let's get another game going and we'll carry on talking about such things. Brudiclad Telchor Engineer versus Dragonlord Ojutai. We don't have double blue for that mana drain, unfortunately, but we might get into it. We're on the draw. Yeah, so what was I saying? The music has started to get pulled by the YouTube gods, so that means that I have to start thinking about the type of music that I'm going to put up here. I've been relying on a music track from the game Soul Reaver, a cover of that which is definitely DRM free. So I can definitely use that. I need to fish around the internet and find like an EDH lounge theme track for the outro of some kind. But like I say, most people don't actually get to the end of the video, so I don't think it really matters all that much. Getting a Batterskull into hand off of Stoneforge Mystic. We get into that blue source. That is really good. Let's go for Ancient Tomb onto Commander's Sphere. And that will act as a blue source as well. And we can actually go in for Brudiclad next turn if we want to. Problem is Stoneforge Mystic can get the Batterskull down as well. Yep, leaving up the Stoneforge Mystic. We are nowhere near the Dragon Master Outcast. We need 6 or more lands to make that relevant. So do we just go for Brudiclad here? Alright, well we can't afford Brudiclad, so let's just go in for the Goblin Instigator. I'm not going to hold up Mana Drain because I don't think our opponent's going to get their commander next turn. So let's just get some tokens on the go. We're nowhere near Dragon Master Outcast, but we can play that anyway. And once we've gone up another 3 lands, then we will be able to start getting dragon tokens into play. Going for the Batterskull, we could not counter that with Mana Drain because it's coming in as part of an activated ability. I think next turn they'll be able to get the card draw from Ancestral Vision. Yep, just 1 time counter on that. And coming in at us, Goblin Instigator. Yeah, it doesn't matter if that dies, does it? But I will swing in with Goblin Instigator next turn just to get a treasure token into play. So we will take this. And not missing a land drop, and there is an Ancient Tomb. So we will be seeing that Dragonlord Ojutai, unfortunately. Alright, a Felwar Stone, and we can get our Brudiclad out now. So I think we have to do that. And we'll just turn the Mere token into a Goblin for the fun of it. Then swing in with the Goblin Instigator. And that will give us a gold token. And Brudiclad doesn't care which tokens he's turning into, well, whatever you want to turn your tokens into. It doesn't care if they are creatures or non-creatures, so the gold tokens do count. Giving our opponent 4 life there, but I do want as many tokens in play as possible so that we can try and get a dragon army going. It's pretty much the only thing that we can do at this point. Another thing that I wanted to hit on is that we hit 2,000 subscribers a few weeks ago, so a big thank you to all of you for that. My aim when I started the channel in September last year was to get to 1,000 subscribers within 12 months, and that was just like an arbitrary number. I didn't really have a really airlocked plan or anything like that. Yeah, let's just take this. I think we're losing this one. Yeah, I didn't really have a specific plan or anything. That was just an arbitrary number that I dreamt up. I think it was quite attainable, and apparently it was attainable because we actually got to 1,000 subscribers within 8 months. And then I think it was a further 3 months down the line, got another 1,000. So 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah, 11 months. And we got to 2,000, doubling the target that I'd set for myself. So yeah, that's really good. A big thank you to all of you for your continued support and well wishes. Just going to crack this. Highly doubt we're going to get into anything. Okay, Tezzeret. We definitely have Metalcraft. So let's just go for Tezzeret Artifice Master. And we can create a Thopter and then make all of our tokens Thopters. But it turns out our opponent has counter magic. We could have countered the Force of Will had our opponent not have wastelanded our Ancient Tomb. So yeah, this is a really tight Azorius control build by the looks of it. And we could turn our tokens into gold tokens here, couldn't we? Yeah, let's do that just to mess with our opponent, hold up counter magic. We're not going to be getting dragons this game, so probably just have to chump block with the Dragon Master Outcast. But yeah, the target that I set for myself was met very easily, so that's really good. I say easily, a lot of hard work went into it, but what I mean is that we doubled the target that I'd made. So that is excellent, and looking forward to another 12 months of the channel and seeing how far we can get with a further 12 months. We'll just block the Germ here and take 5 commander damage. Dragonlord Ojutai gets to look at the top 3 there. Okay, and a Treachery we cannot go for. I'm going to go for Arcane Denial here just for the card draw. Would be nice to get 5 free mana, but we've nothing to do with it. And a Misdirection. Change the target spell to a single target. For the hell of it, we'll go for the Mana Drain. We'll get 5 mana off of the Misdirection at least. Now let's see if we can draw into anything off of the Arcane Denial and our draw step. I don't see what we can get into here. Yeah, just a land. Just a couple of lands for us. So we'll just get down the Felwar Stone. And the Steam Vents can go in tapped. And I think that's it. There's nothing, there's no artifacts in our graveyard that we care about putting on top with Academy Ruins. So we'll just rely on our Mir token to chump block the Germ. Now, a few people have asked me as well, with regards to 2,000 subscribers, a few people have very kindly asked me over the course of the year if I have a Patreon or a PayPal button or anything like that. Someone even, I did a video on it, someone even upgraded my tapped out page very kindly. And, oh, that's lethal damage, yep, the Battle Skull going on to Dragonlord Ojutai. Yeah, a game in which we managed to beat our opponent, and then another one in which we got beaten by a very good Dragonlord Ojutai deck. Yeah, I think that is a very good showing for this video. But yeah, some people have asked me about Patreon and all the rest of it. I do have some plans, very loose plans for Patreon, but I don't want to do them immediately. I think it looks like you're just in it for the money. And this is more of a thing that I did it for a creative outlet and just for something, well, something creative to do. I know that's a bit of a nerdy thing to say, but it's true. And it's good for your psyche to do something creative instead of just, going wherever the breeze takes you all your life. So I was never in this for, like, a career path or something like that. But if it ends up that way, hey, I'm not against it. But I want to get some more subscribers first. Maybe around the 4,000 to 5,000 mark, I'll think seriously about a Patreon and then, a Discord and getting us all together in one forum so that we can get games going and stuff like that. So that's probably mid to late next year if everything continues to go really, really well, which hopefully it does. So anyway, you can all let me know what you think of that, if any of you have even made it this far. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.